Good evening, everybody. Namaste. Today we will see, first of all, the scientific explanation about a breathing technique that produces the most researched miracle molecule in our body. This is our disclaimer. A Belgian scientist, John Baptista, in 1620, first prepared this molecule. It was first studied in 1772 by a British chemist, Joseph Priestley. Since 19th century, it was used to treat the insufficient blood supply to the heart muscle. But it remains much unknown until late 1980s. Mostly, it was known as a noxious air pollutant. It is since hailed as a miracle molecule by the scientists. It has become the most studied molecule in science, and in last 25 years, more than 140,000 scientific papers were published, and most of them are in last 8 years. Three scientists, Robert Furchgott, Luis Ignaro, and Farid Murad, in 1998, the Nobel Prize for Medicine or Physiology was awarded to them for their discoveries of this molecule as a signal molecule in the arrangement of blood vessels, and specifically in the control of blood pressure and its mediation in wide varieties in our body. It is one of the most important signaling molecules, a messenger molecule in our body. It is involved in virtually every organ system where it is responsible for modulating an astonishing variety of effects. It has been shown to be involved in and affect, just to list a few major examples, all these functions in our body. Creating new blood vessels, asthma, diabetes, glaucoma, first line of defense, infection, inflammation, memory, orgasm, septic shock, stroke, tumors, widening, airways, wound healing, stem cell, and so many other functions in our body. Our human body produces this molecule from an amino acid called L-arginine. It can be synthesized from sweat on our skin, and we also get it through raw vegetables, nuts, seeds, and fruits like green herbs, lentils, garlic, nuts, and seeds. soybeans, leafy greens, watermelon, beets, dark chocolate, obviously the cocoa powder without sugar. But when we cook, because normally we always cook vegetables or grains. So when we cook, boil, steam, broil, bake, blanch or roast, that molecule is mostly destroyed. And antiseptic compounds in mouthwash destroy the bacteria in the mouth that produces this miracle molecule. Dr. Nathan Bryan, he says, we know that one cannot be well without an adequate amount of this molecule circulating throughout the body. Yet, the very first thing over 200 million Americans do each day is use an antiseptic mouthwash, which destroys the good bacteria that helps to create this molecule. These once thought good habits may be doing more harm than good. Using antiseptic mouthwash in the morning or any time kills this miracle molecule. And this miracle molecule is called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is produced in the paranasal sinuses, a group of 4 air-filled spaces that surround the nasal cavity. The frontal sinus, ethmoid sinus, maxillary sinus, and sphenoid sinus. Nitric oxide is produced in this group of 4 sinuses. Initially, it was thought that these paranasal sinuses were evolutionary remnants. Those people and those scientists who believe in Darwin's evolution theory, not all of them believe it. When they cannot find something or a good reason why any of our organs is there, normally they would think that it is evolutionary remnant, just like appendix. It was believed that appendix was nothing but the evolutionary remnant because once upon a time Homo sapiens had tail. But now we know that appendix plays a crucial role in removing the harmful bacteria. The prime function of this organ is to produce nitric oxide, which travels downstream with the inspired air to decrease pulmonary vascular resistance and thereby decrease the workload on the heart. When we chew food, friendly oral bacteria with saliva to convert nitrates into nitrites. They react with saliva to convert nitrates into nitrites. You can see from diet we intake nitrate, and with the help of oral bacteria, and then in stomach goes to intestine and then kidney. In the stomach, nitrites were converted to nitric oxide, where it goes into the bloodstream to meet the body's needs. And leftover nitrates and nitrites that are not converted to nitric oxide can be excreted or stored in the saliva glands or under the skin for later conversion into nitric oxide. This is the chain. And research conducted during a previous coronavirus epidemic, the SARS-CoV, showed that nitric oxide inhibited the replication of SARS-CoV in a dose-dependent manner, meaning that higher levels had a greater inhibitory effect on the replication of the virus. This study was done in October 2020. Once nitric oxide enters the bloodstream, it acts as a messenger to relax the smooth muscles within the lining of our arteries. When the muscle relaxes, the arteries widen, allowing for increased blood flow and circulation. You can see this picture. Are you getting enough nitric oxide? When we are, say, around under 20, less than 20 actually, age-wise, there is 100% nitric oxide. And then after the age of 20, nitric oxide reduces to 80%, and arteries start thickening. By the age of 35, nearly 50% of nitric oxide we have an inflammation plaque. You can see the yellow lining there. And by the age of nearly 45, we will only have 35% nitric oxide, and that results in stiffening wall. Calcium is building up then. And by the age of 55, we only absorb 15% nitric oxide, rupture happens, or possible heart attack. So as you can see, as we absorb less and less nitric oxide, how it actually affects our artery, and eventually it results in cardiac diseases. This is the importance of nitric oxide. On a side note, drug Viagra works on this principle. The physiologic mechanism of penile or clitoral erection involves release of nitric oxide in the corpus cavernosum, that is mass of erectile tissue forming the bulk of penis and clitoris during sexual stimulation. Because of the inherited or acquired health condition, enzyme PDE5 blocks the effect of nitric oxide in our body. And this results in erectile dysfunction or an absence of or low-grade orgasm. The main ingredient of the drug Viagra inhibits enzyme PDE5, resulting in smooth muscle relaxation and inflow of blood to the genital tissues. And because nitric oxide reaches everywhere, it affects the drug Viagra works like it works. Now, apart from normal breathing and nitrate-rich food, because we receive nitric oxide through breathing and then chemical reaction in our body, and through nitrate-rich food, there is another way to increase the production of nitric oxide in our body by 1,500%, 15-fold. And that technique is called Brahmary Pranayama, or female bee breathing, also known as humming breath. Impaired breathing leads to poor air circulation and lowers levels of beneficial nitric oxide in nose and sinuses, thus creating an environment beneficial for bacterial growth and inflammation. Studies carried out at the Karolinska Institute of Sweden show that humming increases airflow in the sinuses. Further, the levels of nitric oxide increased by 15 to 20-fold by humming compared with quiet exhalation. So if you breathe out quietly, just like we normally do, but if you breathe out with humming like a bee, then nitric oxide increases by 15 to 20 fold. That is by 1,500 to 2,000%. By breathing through nose, we harness the various properties of nitric oxide, including its germicidal powers. So why humming is important? What does humming do? Humming reduces stress, induces calmness, enhances sleep, lowers heart rate and blood pressure. It produces neurochemicals such as oxytocin. Humming increases lymphatic circulation and melatonin production, releases endorphins, and creates new neural pathways in the brain. All these help reduce stress and promote health and well-being. So by practicing the Brahmary Pranayama or the humming bee pranayama, our body creates or produces nitric oxide, which is very important for all our body organs, by 15 to 20 fold. If you practice Brahmary Pranayama every day, about say 10 minutes per day, then you will not have the lack of nitric oxide in your body. And this is scientifically proven by the scientist. Now let us practice Brahmary Pranayama for few minutes. You sit in any comfortable sitting position, and then before you close your eyes, just go through this instruction so you know exactly what to do. So when you actually breathe deeply and hold your breath, then what you need to do with your thumbs, you close your ear flaps. So your ears will be closed. Place your index fingers, that's your first fingers, just above your eyebrows, and the rest of your fingers by the sides of nose, as you can see in the picture. Then apply very gentle pressure to the sides of your nose, and then keep your mouth closed. And when you breathe out slowly through your nose, make a humming sound. It's like, for example, I'm breathing in now, and I have put my fingers, index fingers on above eyebrows, and the rest of the three fingers on the side of the nose, putting a little pressure. And then when I breathe out through nose, the sound should be like this. Now breathing. Now breathing. So during that time or any time, you can repeat this process for about 5 to 10 times. And there are no side effects of breathing in this way. It's only kind of a pranayama practice. So we should not be doing it throughout the day, all the time, but at least 5 to 10 times. So about 5 minutes or 10 minutes per day, if possible. And while you breathing out, or while you breathing out and making this humming sound, to convert this breathing exercise into meditation, focus your mind on humming sound. Because we know that meditation means to be in the present, in here and in now, and focusing on a singular point. So while breathing out with humming sound, focus your mind on the humming sound. Meditation, as we know, that gives us so many benefits, which we have seen in our previous sessions, from down regulating and up regulating many genes to controlling the release of hormones. Meditation is not a religious practice. It's all about seizing the moment. It's all about you. It's all about you to be in here and in now. No past impressions, no future anxieties, just the present. Because you live only in the present. The past is gone and the future only arrives as the present. We have 1,440 minutes in a day. By spending only 10 minutes a day to tune with ourselves, we will get so many benefits anywhere, anytime. Now let us practice meditation. You all know what to do. Slowly come out from your meditation. Today's topic is the mental noise. There is information blast, as we know that, all around us. There is social media, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and whatnot. And we receive so much information every moment, every day, every hour, every minute. And we also read because Google is there. And we keep reading what we receive or what we search for. Even in the field of religion or spirituality, as such, there is so much information all around. You can say that everyone knows everything about everything. And that information, when we read, when we write, when we send forward, when we talk about, just sitting in our mind. And that's why mind just keep wandering. It never stops. There was a little story about a woman. And when I mention this story about woman, that does not mean that it is in a sexist way or anything against the feminine gender. It is a story simply written in a folklore. In one village, there was a woman who was very quarrelsome. She would pick up a fight with anybody all the time without any reason. And all the villagers were fed up. But they also knew that this woman is not bad woman, but she has this nature of picking up a fight. So they did not want her to expel from their village. Instead, they came up with a scheme. They approached this woman and I told her that, look, we know that this is your nature and you cannot control it. But then everybody is actually like always on the edge that if this woman came to them and she will just start picking a fight. So what we have decided that you only have to visit one household every day and you have a quarrel with that householder. And she was just verbally abusing everybody, verbally fighting. She was okay with that. And next day she went to one household and just started having fight, verbal fight, without any reason, without any point, without any issue. It was her nature. Now, one day, a monk or a sage visited one of his followers in this village. And that woman told the monk that, look, you actually have come here on the wrong day, because it is now my turn to face that quarrelsome woman. So monk asked him that why it is this? And the woman in the house explained that this is the case. So monk said, okay, when she comes in, just tell her that she can fight with me, and you go inside and do your work. 8 o'clock in the morning, and that quarrelsome woman just came there, and she was told that now this is a monk, he's our guest, a visitor, and you can have quarrel with him. So the woman started, look, you are a monk and you are a lazy, you are an idiot, you are actually a parasite, you live off other people's hard-earning money and sweat and blood, and you don't do any work, you are absolutely unemployed and this and that. So after about 1 hour, when she actually stopped to take her breath in, the monk asked her, are you done? So that woman again became very angry. So what do you mean that I am done or not? I am not done yet. And she started again abusing verbally. So again, after some time, hour or so, she just rested for a minute or two. And the monk again asked her, are you done? Have you finished? And again, that woman became very angry. So throughout day, what the monk did, after 1 hour or so, he would ask just one question, are you done? And then he would return to his meditation. After 8 or 9 hours throughout the day, that woman was absolutely exhausted. She thought that I always actually quarrel with everybody. And after end of the day, I feel more fresh. But today I'm exhausted. She went home. And next day, she did not visit any other household to pick up a fight. So what happened? Because there was no answer. There was no fight back. There was no argument. There was no counter attack from the monk. That woman who used to quarrel a lot did not actually enjoy. It was a monologue. And when you have a monologue, then obviously one becomes tired. So what is the moral of the story? We keep feeding our mind with information. We read a lot, so many messages. We write sometimes and we think. So mind always has a partner to have a dialogue with. Instead, the need is to be silenced. If we become silent, then there won't be any monologue. There won't be any dialogue. And no matter how much we read, no matter how much we actually search, no matter how much we seek for the information, information is only the information. It doesn't help. Before, there was no social media. There was no print media. Books were just written like manual writings by hand. And so little books, so little or so less books. But people only used to have this guidance or advice or any kind of knowledge from mouth to ears. And that is why in India, the mantras of Vedas, they are called Shrutis. Shruti means one that is heard. The masters or the teachers or the gurus or the elders would say something and the next generation would listen. That's it. Nothing in writing. So nothing to actually refer to. But after that, they always went in. And when you go in, everything will be revealed. When you go in, then you will realize. And when you go in, all the knowledge, all the information is there. And that is why meditation, becoming silent, is the key of everything. If you are on the spiritual path, then silence is always golden. Because when we become silent, our true self, the absolute, reveals itself. It is hidden, oppressed, suppressed under so much noise we keep collecting through so many media. And that is why only thing we need to do, as Buddha put it, be your own light. Atma Dipo Bhava. And the way to become the Atma Deep or our own light is to go within. This was today's wisdom sharing. If anyone wants to share their wisdom, please do share. Unmute yourself and please do share. Thank you very much. Namaste. Thank you, Ranjini.
Hi, Dineshi.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing such a beautiful and wonderful session. I never know that, when we intake, all these things like how nitrous oxide will get reduced and good bacteria will be killed in our mouth. And, all these kind of habits are like, we were being feeded as if they were good to our health, that so many of the tiniest things which we don't know that, even the good bacteria is always good for health. And also now what you have said about the social media, without even noticing, our hands just will go to the phone and keep on checking the messages, and the data is going in our brains all the time.
Yes.
Like most of the time, even without knowing. So this is what we have to refrain ourselves, and be aware of what we are doing and what we are thinking and everything. Yeah, thank you so much for reminding thoroughly in detail as well, Vijayji. Thank you. I'm so glad for this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vijay. Like Nirima said, you always remind us benefits of meditation, which you always do that. Thank you for that. And for so many new things today, I learned that Brahmary meditation or the humming meditation, I heard of it before, but the benefits you explained is makes it even more interesting, or more need to practice. So thank you for taking us through that and explaining that. And finally, of course, the importance of silence, which I always knew, but we still keep gathering more and more information and keep our mind so active. So thank you for sharing all these wisdom with us. Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you. You're welcome. Now, Nilimaji, we can conclude the session if you want to.
Yes, yes, Vijay sir. Yeah. So yeah, thank you once again for this beautiful session. So friends, so tomorrow we'll see each other for tomorrow's morning meditation session. Thank you all for joining. Thank you.